Do you ever want players who left your team to succeed someplace else?
Depends on how the player left.
It's a big, 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 factor into all of that. Because we were talking about today with Jake Moody taking the game-winning field goal against the Commanders as a Chicago Bear.
Yeah.
And also, simultaneously, you had Blake Snell dealing in the NLCS last night. And I believe the Chargers. I believe the Dodgers are leading right now 4-1 on the Brewers.
Yeah.
So it looks like they're going to be 2-0 in that NLCS.
But,
these other examples out there, like, did you ever root for a player that left your team to have success against your team?
Can't say that I did.
I did.
Who?
Khalil Mack.
Yeah, but by that time you were out on the Raiders, so why did you care?
I just, wanted to shove it in their face. I wanted him to have a good game against Derek Carr.
I'd say at that point you were more of a Khalil Mack fan than a Raider fan.
Yeah, that may be the case. Or like, I don't know. I'm trying to think of other ones.
Khalil Mack's definitely the biggest one. It is natural to root against the player if he's going against your team. But I also think that a lot of the quote-unquote good for Moody tweets that I saw last night, I mean, I'd like to maybe do a little Twitter advanced search just to see what else they said about Moody previously, because I thought some should have kept that same energy instead of just saying, no, good for Moody, good for him. Like, no, you and their missed kicks ran him out of this town.
Exactly. And I think everybody on the chat tonight needs to individually text out an apology. Apologize. Kiss Jake Moody's ass. All right? Because he proved it last night. It wasn't Jake Moody. It was definitely the 49ers kicking scheme. Can we all agree on this?
Yeah. Yes. Pucker up, AJ Cruz. Pucker up, Ernie, too. Pucker up, Lauren.
Yeah, I want everybody on here, AJ Cruz, especially AJ Cruz. I definitely want you to apologize. All right? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, stuff it, Derek. No. We're not doing anything unless you apologize. Just gonna sit here in silence.
Pucker up and kiss it, Whoville.
Yeah, exactly. That's not going to happen. You guys all hated Moody. I get it. I did feel good for him getting that game-winning field goal last night. And while he was giving the post-game interview, even though he had his moment and it was on national TV and everybody was like, good redemption story for Jake Moody, I kind of felt like, man, this guy is very uncomfortable in his own skin because he's doing the interview with his helmet on. I'm like, dude, take it off. Come on. You got to get a game-winning moment.
Yeah.
Celebrate a little bit.
Yeah. Take it off. Show off that flashy mullet of yours, Jake, for the whole world to see. The Moody mullet. But him keeping his helmet on, it made it feel like he was like a high school kid.
Yeah, a little bit.
Talking to ESPN. I like how he kept it on, too, when he was clearly talking to ESPN radio when they needed something for good audio, and he still kept his helmet on. What was up with that? I didn't get that. He struck me as a guy who, yeah, you're right, not comfortable in his own skin, just the confidence that whatever confidence he had in San Francisco shattered, dude. Shattered, gone. Yeah. And I think that played out on that in that night.
Yeah, he definitely doesn't have a Sebastian Janikowski charisma to him.
Yeah. Well, we have to wait till December 28th, see what happens with Cairo Santos, if he's hurt again, or if, I don't know, maybe another team needs a kicker and Jake Moody moves elsewhere. Like Caleb Williams was saying the exact same things that 49er fans were saying about why they like Jake Moody in the first place. Well, you know what? I didn't really know much about him. I knew about his story a little bit, but I didn't really know him. All I saw was him kicking 65-yard field goals at practice.
Yeah.
And that's why everyone in 49er land was blinded by the Jake Moody kicks, because of those lengthy 60-yarders on the Santa Clara practice field in the nice heat of the Bay Area. And now they saw it play out in Chicago, and who knows, maybe they could get fooled. And I don't know. The 49ers are running with the George W. Bush mantra, where it's fool me once, shame on you, and fool me, can't get fooled again.
Yeah, exactly. I think the chances of Jake Moody staying on the Bears are probably slim when the 49ers face off against them, because after that performance, I don't know if they'll hang on to him. Like if Cairo Santos comes back and he's healthy, then you don't need two kickers, and they probably would go with Santos. And then some team saw what Jake Moody did in the rain against the Commanders, like, all right, we'll pick him up and be your kicker now.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it could happen, but Who knows? I don't even know what the injury to Santos is. So I don't know.
Yeah, I didn't see.
But we all know what injuries to kickers can do.
What's that?
Will throw them off their season like it did for Jake Moody last year.
That's true. All right, enough about Moody. Just your opinion, man. Stephen Langford, Derek Papa, we're coming to you on a Tuesday night to recap the week that was in the NFL, Week 6. The Raiders won. Nice. But it's not really a sexy win. It was not really a entertaining watch to begin with. So we'll review that game, but later on. Let's start with the 49ers tonight. And it's, they lost the game. You and I both picked that. It's devastating that Fred Warner is out for the season. And I say that as a football fan because Fred Warner, hands down, is the best linebacker in football. He's been that for quite some time. Other guys have had really good seasons as far as like a true middle linebacker in a position that has diminished over the years. Like it's not the same from the days where Luke Kuechly was winning Defensive Players of the Year or, Ray Lewis or Brian Urlacher. Fred Warner was playing in a time where middle linebackers really weren't really having an impact on the game. And the fact that, you bring it up, I talked to a lot of people at KMBR about this. Does he have a Hall of Fame resume at this point in his career? This is his 8th season, same as Patrick Willis, the amount of time that Patrick Willis played. Look at their stats, it's comparable. And, I thought that Patrick Willis had more of an impact on the game, but I do forget, Fred Warner having a crucial pick 6 in a game against the Rams, his 2nd season in the league, causing the amount of fumbles he has. I mean, he's a leader of that defense. Nick Bosa may be the best player on that defense.
Yeah.
But Fred Warner is the leader. So when you saw Jair Brown roll into his leg and he gets carted off the field in an air cash, you're like, damn, that's the one guy that cannot lose. I mean, to lose Bosa to begin with is devastating. But to have Fred Warner, the heart and soul of the team, gone for the rest of the season, I just watching the rest of that game. Everything's wide open in the middle of the field. I don't know how the defense overcomes that. Like you saw on the Tatum Bethune, or the touchdown to Cameron Johnson, Tatum Bethune fills in for Fred Warner. And when you're a middle linebacker, you're the leader of the defense. You got that green dot in your helmet, and you got to make communication to the secondary and the defensive line. And at that point, with an all-out blitz, Tatum Bethune doesn't know what he's doing around there. So the play was wide open. Yeah, I think it's going to be hard for the Niners to overcome this and just a devastating injury.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, and I would argue that he is a better all-around player than Nick Bosa. Nick Bosa can make an impact and wreck games with sacks, but as far as communication, just reading everything, letting the defense know, hey, it's a run or pass play in the way of Luke Kuechly. Like we always go to this Patrick Willis thing when we compare, and I know that they're playing the same position, but to me, that is comparing apples to oranges because it was just a different game when Patrick Willis played. You'll find that the tackle numbers are far more in favor of Willis, but that's also because Fred Warner doesn't have to just sit there in the middle of the field and make tackles. It's what everyone's talked about with Warner, dude. There's nothing that I could say on here that differs from anything else that anyone else has said about anything else that anyone said about Fred Warner, because we've pretty much, I don't think it can be overstated his impact on the team, like covering tight ends and wide receivers as if he's like a safety and tackling like a linebacker. The thing to me where Warner stood out most this year, though, I think you'd find that with every single one of those defensive closing plays, sure, it was the defensive line in on it, but Fred Warner was too. And Warner, I think you'll find with a lot of the drop passes that were on the opposing team that the 49ers were playing, a lot of it, I don't think there's any way you could track this and there's any way you can get into the mind of the wide receivers unless you just ask them personally about that one drop that they could remember, because drops don't happen all that often. But whenever there was a crucial drop in the wide open part of the field, you'd find that number 54 was somewhere in the vicinity, and they probably heard footsteps or at least saw those Predator dreadlocks falling at him. The Predator. It sucks, dude. It does. He's everything to that defense. And I know it's like human instinct whenever there's a problem that we automatically try to come up with a solution. you could try to rack your brain as much as you want. I don't think there is any sort of solution to this. Where the 49ers season is headed right now, to me, is on the same track as the Detroit Lions, where they lost out a bunch of their defensive players last year. Their offense was fine, and their offense was winning them games, but the lack of a superstar on the defensive side, they did get Alex Anzalone back for the playoffs, but the lack of having their superstar back at 100%, that I think played a factor in that loss to the Commanders last year. So, there's no solution to it, man. You're losing a guy who is Luke Kuechly, Patrick Willis, and I don't even know. I don't want to say, or Patrick. Did I say Patrick Lewis? Luke Kuechly, Patrick Willis, and shit, I don't know. Seahawks version of Jamal Adams all rolled into one.
Yeah, I mean, he's a great linebacker, and I totally understand the comparison to the Detroit Lions of last year. But the Lions' offense was prolific a year ago, and it is right now. But that offense can carry that team. Like, if they lose one guy, they're done. Like, as long as they have Jared Goff, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jahmyr Gibbs, David Montgomery, and Jameson Williams, they're going to be a high-scoring offense. So to compare that to the 49ers, I get it. It's a similar situation where the offense needs to carry the defense the rest of the way, but I don't see it. The rushing numbers are not good. Christian McCaffrey doesn't look like the same player to me. He's making an impact as far as just a all-around great player, but as far as a running back, they're not getting enough push from the offensive line.
Whoa.
What?
I feel vindicated, Derek.
Yeah, I mean,
I thought I was overreacting at first, but I feel vindicated that he's just way more effective as a pass catcher now.
He's still a great player. It's just that it's not set up well for him right now to run behind this offensive line. I'm not saying that he's diminishing. I just think that the injuries are catching up a little bit to him and his age.
Well, he's a step slower. I'm telling you, the speeding tracker, Derek, I keep track of those next-gen stats, the ball carrier speed. He hasn't been in the top 20 for any weeks yet.
He's definitely not as fast as he used to be, but he's still an impact player. It's just that, it's like this. It's like what's going on with Saquon right now. The offensive line's not helping him out. So Kyle Shanahan could scheme it up, as one of the best play callers in all of football, but they can't put up the amount of points that the Lions did a year ago. Like, the Lions down the stretch, they were outscoring the San Francisco 49ers 41-34 in a meaningless game in December. They're like losing games to the Buffalo Bills 48-42. I don't think the Niners offense is really good.
Maybe it's not totally equal, but maybe that's their ceiling then. How about that?
No, I mean, I hear you. You're not the only one that's brought that comparison up. I just think that's going to be very difficult, and we have to see how this team looks the next 3 weeks before the trade deadline happens. I'm not saying they're going to replace Fred Warner with a linebacker. That would not make any sense. I don't think you could find anybody to just, off the street or trade for somebody that's going to do the things that Fred Warner did. So I think that's a lost cause. Unless you want to bring up a linebacker that played a year ago that doesn't have a job right now. Was with the 49ers.
Who?
Well, he made an impact on the team. Devondre Campbell. No one's with me on that one?
I don't think so, Derek.
Yeah, I hear you on that one. As far as the game, you can see
for that. I got nothing for a Devondre Campbell.
Yeah, I brought that up the other day, and everyone's like, no. Of course, I'm joking. They're not going to sign Devondre Campbell with what happened a season ago. Get the fuck out of here. But they may trade for a pass rusher. I don't think it's going to be anything significant like a Trey Hendrickson or Max Crosby by any means. But we have to see how they look the next 3 weeks, because I don't know how this defense is going to play. Like, they went into the season with the idea that, okay, as long as we have Fred Warner and Nick Bosa, they can lead the charge for this defense. And there's going to be a lot of young players. So it's a huge mystery, but as long as we have those two future Hall of Famers potentially, then we'll be fine as a defensive unit. The fact that both of them got injured and out for the season, not even like a short amount of time or maybe like IR stints, the fact that they're both gone, like, I get it. I understand why 49er fans are upset and they may want to point the finger at somebody, but who can you really point the finger to? This just happens in football. I understand it's extremely unlucky, but it's just the way it goes sometimes. I don't think it's anybody from the training staff or them practicing on a burial ground. It is what it is. They're an unlucky football team when it comes to health.
How can anyone blame the training staff for Jair Brown accidentally rolling up on his ankle?
Exactly.
What the hell? I saw that. I saw that one. Like, there's plenty of arguments you can make that maybe the strength and conditioning staff or Kyle Shanahan's running them too hard at practice. There's actually plenty of arguments for that, but I don't think that Fred Warner is one of the examples that you can use. And the thing is, it's a third of the way through the season.
Yeah.
A third of the way through the season. There's still 2/3 left to play.
Yeah.
And 2 of their superstars are already hurt. Like, whatever success people think that they can have for this season, for 2025 and a little bit of 2026, it hinges on the 49ers staying completely healthy for the rest of the year. Like, that's the crazy part about it. There's plenty of time left for other guys to get hurt because it's football, and that's what happens.
I know. And I think this is the first time when we see the injuries impact the team that potentially could have been good. Like, again, like, the season's not over. They're 4-2. Let's see what happens. But I think in 2020, yes, injuries played a factor, but they were just spent from the Super Bowl the year before. Same thing last year. There's a lot of factors into why they weren't a good team. Injuries did play a factor again. But I think it's the first time where we're going to see them start off strong at 4-1, 4-2, and then you're like, damn, okay, the injuries have taken a toll. Like, they were going to be potentially the division champions or a wild card team, and they didn't make it because they lost Fred Warner and Nick Bosa.
Yeah. And you don't want to, talk like that. And I appreciate anyone who tries to come up with ways in which they are going to somehow make it up and do what they set out to do. Like, you're not without Warner and Bosa. I don't really know what the goal is for the remainder of the season. Again, maybe it is just the ceiling for them to do what the Lions did a year ago, but this is Fred Warner we're talking about. We're talking about the guy who has been in the middle of that pregame huddle for damn near every single game except for that one he missed in 2020. Yeah. Other than that, it's always been Fred Warner. Like, I don't know who's going to be doing the talking in the middle of that before the game. I don't know if it's going to be Trent Williams, Diamador Lenore. I don't, Jawan Jennings. I don't know. I don't know who it's going to be, but whenever that person is doing their little rah-rah pregame speech to get the guys fired up, that's, I think, when it's really going to set in. Like, damn, we really don't have Fred right now.
Yeah, I mean, it's like having another coach out there. Like, as you put, Steven, he's always been there. He's always been the guy with the green dot. And it was great to have Robert Saleh come back and their partnership again. But, yeah, Robert Saleh is going to have to be very creative with his defense going forward because it's a lot of young guys.
Yeah. And they haven't even been able to get any pass rush either without Bosa, like, at all. And when they do blitz, I mean, it was glaring against the Rams. But when they blitz, it's just going to leave somebody open, and the defense isn't going to be able to get a handle on it. And if there's a solid quarterback under center opposing them, then they're just going to hit whoever that open receiver is. So, yeah, it's just going to be the offense is going to need to put up like 35 points a game if you want to see them actually on the same winning trajectory that we thought they were going to be on, which is potentially a 10-11 win season. But with this schedule, I know people want to look at the schedule. Schedule doesn't matter. Schedule doesn't matter. That's out the window. If you look at the teams, I'm sure during the preseason you didn't look at the Bucs and you thought, oh yeah, that's going to be, I don't know if the Bucs are going to be 3.5-point favorites going into that game. Like, you probably would have had the 49ers favorites. Hell, I'm sure many chalked that up to a W. Like, Buccaneers will be going to be good. 49ers are going to be better. Teams are different. Teams change. Hell, that Chicago Bears game on the 28th, they look like a different team right now, and they look like they're starting to roll with Ben Johnson. So I just don't take that schedule thing seriously. You lost Fred, like the Fred Warner, man. It's Warner. I think I mentioned it on the list of can't get hurt guys. It's Fred Warner at the top of the list to me. Maybe Christian McCaffrey because of how much he's doing for this offense right now, and you can't envision them using Brian Robinson Jr. as the starting running back at this point. But Fred Warner was the guy. There's no solution to it. There isn't.
No, there isn't. And yeah, it was evident in the game on Sunday where you saw guys wide open in the middle of the field, Like I know it's on secondary, but Fred Warner can at least cover some wide receivers over the middle or some tight ends. But yeah, and it was the reason why Baker Mayfield was able to convert that 3rd and 14 on that epic run, looking like
Totally.
Steve Young out there. If Fred Warner's out there, he probably makes the play.
Yeah.
But a lot of olays and a lot of arm tackling, and Baker Mayfield's able to get out of that. I mean, that's the reason why that he throws that touchdown pass to Cameron Johnson. Think about that too. He threw to Cameron Johnson and Tez Johnson. Feels like Blazing Saddles with all the Johnsons out there, but it's not even a Mecca Ibuka. Like they're dealing with so many injuries too. No Mike Evans, no Bucky Irving, no Chris Godwin, and they got it done because the 49ers, they have guys in the secondary, but as far as like a front seven, D Winters is playing really well right now, but they're not getting any pass rush. Bryce Huff's helping out a little bit. Michael Williams got a sack on Sunday, but
I can't.
It's gonna be tough.
The D Winters thing, man, I can't even. Like at the beginning of the season, it's like he's making impact play after impact play, but really, to me, D Winters, I haven't seen him pop like he did the first couple of weeks. Maybe that's just me. I could be completely wrong on that. I mean, I rewatched it. I rewatched the condensed game. I mean, he's good, but I didn't see him making like game-saving run stuffs, or drive-saving run stuffs, which saw him make earlier in the season. So, and anyone who's calling for Nick Martin, that's fine. You selected him in the 3rd round, and this seems to be a prime position for him to fill in and take advantage of his opportunity. But think about it. There's a reason why they aren't playing him. There's a reason why they end up sitting rookies after maybe starting them too soon, aka Marquise Siegel, who I don't know if he's going to be starting next game with Malik Mustafa healthy and Jair Brown playing. Like, I don't understand the Nick Martin angle. It's just like, why draft him if you're not going to play him? Probably because he's not ready yet. And that's okay for a 3rd round pick. Like, you can give him a season. He's probably going to get his chance, but I think people are going to find that when he does, might not be pretty.
It may not, but what other chance would he have right now? Like, Fred Warner's not out there. Tatum Bethune fills in for the middle linebacker, but you may have to have, like a fusion of youth, or like anybody that's out there that's available to go out and play linebacker for you, because that was the intention this season. Like, I know some people are expecting them to, go after a big pass rusher, whether it's I bring up Cam Jordan or Arden Key or any of these guys, but the intention this offseason was to have a competitive rebuild. I keep bringing it up, but Kyle Shanahan and Trent Williams said themselves they weren't planning on Super Bowl. They were just trying to get into the playoffs and see what happens. And now that you suffer these injuries, let's see what you have. Let's see what you have in your roster and the guys that you drafted this offseason. So, yeah, I don't know how you replace a Fred Warner. I mean, the defense did not look great on Sunday. They kept you in the game. But as I said last Saturday, Mac Jones needed to stay upright, and he got sacked 6 times in this game. Got pressured from Todd Bowles and threw a bad interception early on I think it was the opening drive. And a later one that was bad to Jamel Dean on 4th down. The Niners got their first rushing touchdown of the season with Christian McCaffrey, but they're like I said earlier, just the running game's just not going at all. So
at that point, a Warner injury had sucked any life that the 49er faithful had at watching that game. Like, great, they got a rushing touchdown.
But it took the lead though.
Our 4-time All Pros out. Like, who cares? Honestly.
How
many were probably feeling that way?
I think that it was mixed emotions. I think that people were devastated by the Fred Warner injury, but when I was watching the game at Jacob's Place on Sunday, everybody was still like, we have to win this game. Like, when they got close in the 4th quarter, the Fred Warner stuff, it was on the forefront of people's minds. But later on, like, you're in this game now. You potentially win this game. There were moments. I never thought they were going to win the game. Like, as soon as Baker Mayfield picked up that 3rd down and threw the touchdown pass right after that, I was like, okay, this game's over. But, Cedric Bourne stepped up. He's had a great back-to-back weeks here. With over 140 yards receiving. Jake Tunges has come along as a solid second option when George Kittle returns this week, and that may help the running game.
Yeah.
But I mean, it was definitely deflating once Fred Warner got hurt. So they were in the game, but you didn't really feel like they were going to win the game.
And can I bring something up from that drive that led to the McCaffrey touchdown?
Sure.
Maybe this is just me being overreactionary football guy who thinks he saw something, but it felt like, when in the other guys, when Will Ferrell is, when Mark Wahlberg's holding a gun to Will Ferrell as they're walking in the police station, and Ferrell's like, they're walking out, and then he's like, seriously, he's got a gun on me. I'm unarmed and he's got a gun on me. Seriously, I'm in a police station and no one is listening to this. Yeah. That's kind of how I felt watching this Mac Jones play, where he somehow avoided the sack, still got a throw off to Brian Robinson Jr., which again led to the touchdown eventually. Like, this play was crazy. Just to isolate this one for Mac Jones, who was playing hurt, like, I don't know how the hell he even made this throw where he's rolling out to his left. I think it's either Tunges or Farrell who's open in the end zone. He didn't want to get it to him. So instead, you got Brian Robinson Jr. in the middle who's running towards the sideline. I don't know how the hell Jones even made that throw and that catch just to get it out of bounds. But like, Tony Romo just made it seem like, oh, yeah, he just made that throw. Felt like they didn't react to it. Was I wrong to react to that?
No, that was a great play.
I'm like, what the hell was that? And it felt like just the broadcast totally brushed over it.
I don't know if they brushed over it, but it was one play in the game that set up the touchdown, the lone touchdown for the 49ers.
Yeah. I was just like, damn.
No, it was a sweet play. You made Tony Romo sound like Collinsworth there, which we're bound to do on this podcast for every now and then, where the impression's very similar, where Collinsworth is just like, oh, there's a guy and Mac Jones delivering a pass. Right before he gets hit, delivers it to Brian Robinson, and then Tony Romo would be like, oh, Jim, there he goes, Brian Robinson. It's very similar.
Yeah. Now Collinsworth, it's all about the chuckle.
I mean,
It's just
what can you say about that? PFF grades.
If Collinsworth was calling this one, like he'd watch the play develop, he'd watch it develop.
But yeah, I mean, as far as like I said, Mac Jones got beat up. You needed him to stay upright in this game. It's not like he got hurt. Like, I was wondering if he got hit enough. Adrian Martinez will have to come in the game and do some pull read option stuff, which I'm sure Kyle Shanahan did not want to do. But other weird things in this game, Juwan Jennings and Kyle Shanahan having a little spat on the sideline right before halftime. And both men discussed it after the game, being like, it's just two competitive guys going after each other.
Sure.
But that's what Kyle said. Then they asked Juwan Jennings, and his response was, yeah, you have to ask Kyle about that. And they're like, well, we did. And he said it was just two competitive guys going after each other. He's like, yeah, you could say that, but you have to ask him about that. And then Juwan Jennings reveals, like, I'm dealing with a lot right now. I got 5 broken ribs. And it feels like he's kind of insinuating that he's out there, he's doing everything he can. I'm sure he's frustrated with not having a lot of productivity in the offense right now and wants to hit his incentives to get a new contract or look good going into free agency. And Kendrick Bourne is taking a shine right now. So I think there's a little animosity, and it all stems from, the training camp injury and if he actually had a calf injury or whatnot. So I don't know. I think things are a little weird between Kyle Shanahan and Juwan Jennings right now, even though Kyle's making it seem like it's not that big of a deal.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing what just an off season can do, where you cause a little drama. Like when he committed, especially that penalty, which was the pick play, and he's just staring over the defensive back. That was a situation where 49er fans would have lauded him for that play. Like, penalty, worth it. But now that Jennings is acting up like this, and along with that little report from Cam Inman just heading into halftime, I think people are really fed up with Jennings at this point. Because if you're just going to sit there and complain, then, like, come on, what are we doing here? What was it about? Not getting enough targets? Them going after Demarcus Robinson instead of him, even though Demarcus Robinson like that, that was God, that had to have been also for Shanahan, just from Shanahan's standpoint, that had to have been one where it's like, okay, I'm on the sideline. I got my veteran wide receiver here who's complaining about something. I got the other veteran wide receiver excited to get him back after his suspension. I got this guy dropping the football right in front of my feet. I think that had something to do with Shanahan lashing out at Jennings. Like, I really think that's when he reached his boiling point there. And you go back and watch the replay, same look he had when Jake Moody missed a field goal. He puts his hands up and does this thing. And he's just trying to contain whatever emotion that he wants to show because he's the head coach. But Robinson right there, like 5 feet in front of him, just dropping that pass blatantly going out of bounds.
Yeah, I mean, it was a frustrating game for a lot of reasons. Just, Fred Warner getting hurt and, the offensive line having probably their worst performance of the season as far as pass protection. And yeah, I know Kyle says I don't go into a game with the plan being that we're going to throw for 345 yards and not run the football. He wants to run the football. He kind of plays it off like it's just how the game goes sometimes. But he wants to run the ball, and they have to find a way to have some balance to this offense. If they don't, it's going to be just the same result every week where, you're trying to come back in games, the defense gives up yardage, and you're just trying to slow down the game, but you're not able to because Christian McCaffrey or Brian Robinson, I mean, they don't even run Isaac Orendo or Jordan James, the rookie out there, which I don't blame them because I don't think they deserve to be on the field right now. But you see what's going on with the Eagles, and they're not running very well with Saquon. But at least they change it up every now and then where, all right, Saquon, he gets the bulk of the carries, but they'll change it up with A.J. Dillon or Will Shipley. Shanahan doesn't trust anybody in that running back room. Like it's Brian Robinson for maybe 5 carries a game, and then Isaac Orendo. You're not even good enough to have kickoff duties. That's Brian Robinson's job for a little bit of time. I don't know if you noticed that during the game. And yeah, it just doesn't look good offensively. And by the way, you brought up the broadcast. Jim Nantz. Even Jim Nantz noticed that Sky Moore is fielding the ball on the 9-yard line. What are you doing?
Yeah. It's just some boneheaded plays. The run game. I wonder if it's going to improve at all with George Kittle. I mean, it should. Yeah. But is that one tight end who's a really good blocking tight end going to make all the difference in the world? Is he going to make up for the mistakes seemingly of Dominic Pooney? Looking at and you mentioned a little bit of PFF too, just in the Collinsworth joke, but look at the PFF grades. I went back and they gave a 17.7 to Luke Farrell on his pass blocking grade. And they gave Kyle Juszczyk, I think like a 40, a low 40s grade for his run blocking. So I went back and looked at there's not many to look through of every one of those snaps. Like, what the hell is PFF talking about? There was one of the 9 pass plays that Luke Farrell was out on the field. There was one that required him to block, and he missed it. It ended up being near blitz. And for Kyle Juszczyk, the run blocking, I didn't see an issue with Kyle Juszczyk and his run blocking. So the PFF, I'm starting to really lose faith in that after just trying to dissect what grades they were talking about.
Oh, dude, I've been over PFF for years. Like 10 years ago, I was all about them, like reading their stats on the Raiders and everybody else in football. Now I could not care less. And I'm not just a take from another podcast, but I saw Chris Long today go in on PFF grades during Sunday Night Football broadcast where he's like, why the fuck are they up there? And then it's because Collinsworth owns PFF.
Right.
But like, I don't want to see Patrick Mahomes 13 out of whatever. Like when we see the lineup, that's ridiculous. I agree with him. Like, I get it. It's, synergy between Sunday Night Football and Chris Collinsworth's own company, but it's gone downhill. I'm not a PFF guy by any means.
No, it doesn't compute. Feels like there's just someone who's assigned with having to put numbers on them, and they're just like, hey, all right, let me just put a 17.7 because he missed one block out of the 9 pass plays that he was out there for.
Yeah.
And the one block that he missed. So we'll give him a 17.7. How do you come up with 17.7?
I know. The grading scale is like ridiculous, like Portnoy's pizza system. It's a 7.8, and that's really good company.
Right. Well, that's Portnoy's pizza system. He can do what he wants. This PFF thing, people actually take it to heart, man.
Yeah, but I don't think we should anymore. I
No.
think just people watch for yourselves. Don't rely on PFF or listen to people that actually know what the hell they're talking about. But given the Fred Warner injury, I know they're 4-2. Do you think this team makes the playoffs now?
I'll say yes. I'll say yes because of their coaching staff.
Mm-hmm.
I think that Kyle Shanahan and Robert Saleh and the rest of the staff is so well equipped that they can handle this sort of thing and skate by. But I don't think it's anything. I don't think they're winning the division.
No.
I don't think it's anything more than just a wild card round berth and then an exit from the wild card. So,
Yeah.
so if that's the type of playoffs that you're talking about, then yeah, I think they could squeak in via the wild card. But the NFC is so wide open now. I really don't know, but I'd say yes at this stage. Ask me in a few weeks though.
Well, that's the thing. I think the next 3 weeks we'll find out how good this football team is, and I know that their schedule is weak on paper, but now you're seeing how these teams play. The Atlanta Falcons looked great last night against the Buffalo Bills. They play them on Sunday Night Football. Mm-hmm. Then I want to say the Niners play the Texans after that, and they're picking up steam right now, coming off a bye week. We'll see how they play this week. And then they play the Giants, and the Giants look good Thursday night against the Philadelphia Eagles, and they got that pass rush. And if you think that – sorry, go ahead.
And it's Cam Scattaboo's childhood team. Exactly. He wanted to play for the 49ers.
Right.
And I think that's going to be like a kind of Tom Brady type of revenge where it's like he grew up a fan, maybe wanted them to draft him, and now he hates them.
Yeah. And if you thought the Niners had trouble against the Buccaneers, bound to happen against the Giants with their 3 pass rushers and Abdul Carter, Kayvon Thibodeau, and Brian Burns. So, yeah, I think we'll get a good gauge on how this team is the next 3 weeks right before the trade deadline and see if it's worth trading for anybody. I have my doubts. Like, I think that even though John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan are saying the right things to the media, they know that this team is not as good as in 2019 or in 2023. And that's when they were aggressive to go get Emmanuel Sanders or Chase Young, or the year before in 2022 to get Christian McCaffrey. So I don't think they're going to be that aggressive given what they did this offseason. So, yeah, we'll see what happens. I'll say I'm going to say no, because I think the defense is just going to it's going to be tough with all these inexperienced guys now. And the NFC is wide open, but it's very competitive. I think the Vikings are better than we thought initially with that loss to Atlanta. Now they're a little better with Carson Wentz. I don't know if they'll ever go back to J.J. McCarthy. We'll see this week when they play the Eagles. The NFC North right now, every team's above 500. Yeah. See where the Bears are. The Packers, they're kind of hit or miss with me right now. I don't think it's a foregone conclusion that the 49ers make the postseason. I thought they would after the Nick Bosa injury, but I didn't think they could be a true contender. I was skeptical of them ever competing with the Eagles or the Lions or these better teams in the NFC, and the Buccaneers. We'll throw them in that conversation too, because they have the best record in all of football, tied with the Colts right now. But yeah, I think the injuries are going to take their toll on them. I don't think they can keep up with the Rams or the Seahawks now defensively. So, yeah, I'm going to say the Niners probably don't miss out on the playoffs once again.
Right. And if you look in the AFC, if you go to the teams that are below 500, it starts at the 9 seed, and that's the Houston Texans. Top 8 teams in the AFC all over 500. Yeah. In the NFC, it's the top 12 teams that are over 500. And you have to go down all the way to 13 to the Dallas Cowboys for the first that's under 500. So you're talking about 2 or 3 games where if you maybe go 1-2 or 1-3 or even 2-2, that could just totally swing things, just considering you're still tied in your division and everything that's going on in the NFC. It's kind of open right now.
No, it definitely is.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know, man. Like it could get pretty ugly.
Well, do you think the Buccaneers are the best team in the NFC right now?
Right now?
Right now. Even though they have the best record, and if the season ended today, which it never does, Baker Mayfield will probably be your MVP.
Right.
But are they, without a doubt, the best team in the NFC?
No, I'd say the Lions are.
Yep, I would still say the Lions.
Yeah, but that's right now. If the Buccaneers got all their players healthy, I think the Lions might have some competition. But you're asking right now when their players are hurt? Yeah, I think it's the Lions.
No question. And we'll see the Lions and Bucks play this Monday night, but yeah, they're missing still a lot of guys. I don't know if Chris Godwin's ever going to be the guy that we saw, before the injury a year ago. Emeka Ibuka is probably going to miss some time with that hamstring injury. So I don't know. I think that they're a good team and they'll win the NFC South. I believe the Falcons surprised me last night. Even the Carolina Panthers are surprising me right now. But I would give them the benefit of the doubt that they're going to win the NFC South once again. I don't even know who's the best team in all of football right now, to be honest. I would still say maybe the Bills. But these last two games, when teams shut down James Cook, it's difficult for them to have a flow offensively. And Josh is kind of out of his rhythm without having like a true high caliber wide receiver right now. He has a lot of pieces, in Josh Palmer and Keon Coleman and Khalil Shakur and in his tight ends, but he doesn't have, the go-to guy back in the day like he did with Stephon Diggs, and that's why the offense is better now because he can, it's the Patrick Ewing effect that we brought up before. But I think they'll be fine, the Buffalo Bills, if we're on this tangent. Let's talk about this game. I just don't think that. I don't know. They're having a bye week. I still think they win the division. I know the Patriots beat the Saints, and Drake May look great. But I would still say the Bills are the best team in the AFC. I don't know if they're the best team in all of football. That's just a hard statement to make right now because I think everybody's just okay. But the Chiefs are nipping on their heels. The Chiefs look really good on Sunday night.
You can't make a best team in football case right now.
Yeah.
I just don't think you can. You have to give it a few more weeks. Give it till week 13.
Fair enough. I mean, usually this time of the year, we could say like, okay, this team's really good. That team's really good. And we know that right now. Like we kind of have an idea of who are the good teams in the NFL, but I don't know if we know if anybody's great right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah. If I were to look at the past 2 weeks alone, I'd say the Carolina Panthers are the best team in the league.
Well, Rico Dattle's just fucking unbelievable right now.
Yeah, he is.
Never thought that guy would be like. I thought he was okay with the Cowboys. Never thought he'd be this guy that has in the last 2 weeks 473 yards from scrimmage.
Yeah.
Now he's got more yards from scrimmage in the last 2 weeks than Saquon Barkley has total on the season. That's incredible.
Crazy. That's unbelievable.
All right, Steve, let's talk about this Raider game. But before we do that, I annihilated you in picks. So what are we doing? We doing hot sauce? We taking our shirts off? And by us, I mean you?
Hot sauce for me.
Okay. All right. Keep it simple tonight.
Yeah.
An oldie but a goodie.
You actually, and I just learned this. Congrats to you. You won in our little pick'em pool.
Oh, is Jesse's dad giving me some quiche?
No, you don't get any quiche for this week. It's at the end of the season.
Oh.
You're still in. I mean, you gained some ground, but you're still in like 10th out of the 30 people that are in this thing.
I'm making some headway. All right.
Yeah, not too bad, dude. You ended up winning by getting 11 picks correct in week 6, and I had 8, so not too bad. But yeah, you probably did it. Anyway, yep, going with the regular hot sauce. I did not refrigerate this, and it says to refrigerate after opening, so who knows? I might die.
Yeah,
that's
your own doing.
It is what it is. How about eating some ginger or wasabi as punishment? Ooh.
I could be down for that.
Reminds me of Jackass or Jackass 2.
The wasabi snooters or
wasabi snooters. So I have a photo or a video saved in my phone. It's a screen record. Because you and I were texting about, I know we're going to probably get into it a little bit, but you and I were texting about John Harbaugh and just the chances that maybe he's on the hot seat. Yeah. And I said, and you're kind of like, maybe, but I don't think so. And I said, well, if his seat's not hot, then this is Mike McDaniel's. And I ended up screen recording a video of Wee Man on the chair when they pretended that the magician was throwing cards into his ass crack.
Oh yeah.
But it said it was an electric chair.
Yep.
So I just have a screen recorded video of Wee Man's naked butt sitting on a stool.
Nice.
Fun fact.
That's a good looking butt.
Here we go. Did they have some joke about that? There was someone who had a joke about that.
What, Wee Man's ass?
Yeah.
I can't recall.
Mm. Oh.
Yeah, you probably should. Well, what hot sauce is it, Steven? That it has to be refrigerated.
It's the last dab stuff.
It says to be refrigerated?
No, it doesn't. Yes, it does.
Yeah.
Refrigerate after opening.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that's why I'm having diarrhea every time.
It expires next year. Oh, that sucks.
So, Steven, and yeah, I'm debating if we do wasabi or maybe smelling salts or just go shirtless one podcast just to make things a little more spicy.
No, well, there's already two from the last pod. That's not a punishment for us. That's a punishment for them.
What, the
That's
chat?
a punishment to any viewer out there.
Nah, don't lie. Don't lie. You want to see a shirtless chat. Don't admit it.
Don't start saying chat like your eye shows speed. Call them by their name.
All right, fine. Whatever. Like when we call the community the opiners. All right, Steven, your thoughts on the Raiders?
Dude, whenever I see the Twitch users going chat, what should I do next? Chat. It's cringe to me. Stop saying chat.
Well, I don't say it like the Twitch people.
Yeah.
All right, Steven, your thoughts on the Raiders' 20-10 victory over the Tennessee Titans?
You used up your free space on the bingo card. Congratulations, Raiders.
Yeah. It wasn't that impressive of a win. I mean, like, they won the game, and they definitely needed to win. So, however it looked, I didn't care. But it was a simple, safe win. Geno Smith didn't put the ball in harm's way, although one pass got intercepted, but it wasn't like he was slinging it. What did he finish with? Like 175 yards passing. It wasn't anything spectacular.
Dude, he didn't make a single pass over 10 yards downfield.
Yeah, so he was playing it safe. They ran the ball with Ashton Genty. What was the final there with his
75
numbers?
yards.
75 yards on, was it like 20 carries, 23 carries for 75 yards. It was really the defense. It was them confusing Cam Ward, him getting sacked 6 times, picked off by Devin White, forced 2 fumbles that they recovered, Max Crosby getting 2 sacks. It was just a simple 20-10 game where, you have a team with a lot of experienced players and the Titans are inexperienced. So not a lot to write about this game. It's a game the Raiders should have won. They should have won the Bears game. It's a good rebound from getting your ass kicked 40-6. Yeah, it's a game you should have won, and they did. So kudos to the Raiders for that.
Yeah. I have a few plays that I pulled up, Derek. Screen recorded them.
Let's do it.
If you want. Oh, shit.
What are you banging the table?
If you want. If you want it. Dude, my tongue is swollen. It's like numb. I feel like the guy from Rat Race.
With Seth Green. God, I need to watch that movie again.
Yes, you do. It still holds up.
It's fantastic.
The sack by because there's a lot of them, right? Max Crosby was he's just a man on fire. I love it. I don't even know.
This man is on fire.
If the tight ends are meant to be chipping him, but if they are, the Titans tight ends ended up half-assing. They ended up half-assing their Crosby chips because he was just using his hands, getting by them, and then blowing by the running back. It was just, he was so good. But my favorite, if you think the Raiders' offensive line had some problems, and believe me, it does. That's why they didn't throw a pass 10 yards downfield. Like Chip Kelly's trying to throw everything he could at the defense to throw them off of Geno Smith. But my favorite was this from the Titans' offensive line. Like, I did a whole slideshow on the Raiders' woes in the run game specifically, but this was just too funny. All right, we're going to pause it here. So we're looking at Number 95, Leki Fotu, who's a defensive tackle, born in Oakland, by the way. I think he went to high school. He went to high school in Utah.
He knows about Raider Nation, Steven.
Yeah. Maybe I was a little harsh on that one. But he's lined up, I believe, since he's in that one. He's in the 2 technique right there in between the center and the guard.
Yeah.
And just watch. I think it's both the center and the guard. Just watch where their heads are looking, where their eyes are looking, because it ain't at Fotu. They got one guy they need to block. I think I actually paused it in the middle of the video. One guy they need to block. All right, still looking. Look at their heads.
Yep.
Not looking at him. Just got their eyes out. Not looking at him. Nope. Still got their arms out. I don't know who they're looking at. Well, they let him through, and he gets the sack, and look at them. Oh,
wow, what the hell was that?
What happened? Like, the guard still got his hands up after the play. Just, I couldn't.
Wow, this is terrible offensive line play, and this is Bill Callahan before he left because his son got fired, and we'll get to that. But yeah, if you look at the center of your screen right now, 95, he's right in front of them, and both of them are looking like, so you got him? No, I got him. No, you got him? And neither of them look at the player in the face and just let him go.
And they both hands up. What the fuck was that, man? What are you doing?
Wow, that's bad.
Yeah.
I thought the Raiders had some poor offensive line play. That's horrendous.
Oh, they did. Here's the thing that got me. It was funny. There are multiple things that were funny from this game. Goal to go situations. The 49ers have actually really struggled in that department. I think they've allowed like over 10 pressures in goal to go situations. And the Raiders have been fine. And they ended up scoring with Ashton Genty in this game, which was great. And I could get to that one because I think Jordan Meredith actually made some strides in the run game too. But this one, I don't know what the hell Chip Kelly was thinking when he drew up this formation. Like, I'm wondering, did he smoke like a joint beforehand or something? All right, bro. So we're going to line up the tight end in the backfield. We're going to line up Ian Thomas. By the way, Alex Kappa had to declare himself eligible. The Khalif Barnes special, number 65, is now eligible to play.
I like that. The Khalif Barnes special.
You got Ashton Genty and then 2 tight ends lined up in the backfield. And I'm like, what the hell is going on with this? And I paused it there just for dramatic effect. And then they try using Kappa in a Donald Penn situation, try to get him open. The safety just completely sniffed it out. I think Chip Kelly really thought he was drawing up something special there. What kind of formation is that? They haven't run that all year.
They should have ran with that. I want to say I saw this weekend where either the Lions ran this or another team. I can't remember, but I've seen this before where, you have 2 tight ends in the back to help you out, and the running back is either in the middle or to the left or to the right. I get it, though. Like, if this was just a straight-up running play, I understand it because this offensive line has been terrible for the most part. So if you get enough blocking out there, they can help you out. But it was a bad play design just because you were throwing the ball to an eligible offensive lineman. Just run the ball there with Genty.
Yeah. You're also just not fooling anybody. The safety just wasn't fooled at all. Like,
right.
He was tracking the offensive lineman all the way and really treated him as if he was just a tight end going out to the flat. Like, it wasn't that hard of a play. And the last one, I mentioned Jordan Meredith. On this play, you had Dylan Parham, who was big on it as well. But it was the touchdown in the from the 4-yard line. Just watch the center take out Jeffrey Simmons. And here's the thing: Jeffrey Simmons was eating his lunch for the most part. But Meredith had this little one, gotcha moment. Little Shea Brothers going up down Cherry Hill. I won, he'd win 10 times out of 10. I just needed that one time. And Jordan Meredith got that one time, took Jeffrey Simmons out the play.
Nice.
Back to the Jets, he gets the run. And look at him. Goes to him. I got you, little guy. I got you, Jeffrey.
Yeah, it's rare you do that on Jeffrey Simmons, one of the best nose tackles in all of football. But, it shows when you block.
Time.
What's up?
His one time. He's just like, I got you.
I know. And it just shows when you block for this running back, he can do great things. So, look, we're not going to go crazy with this win. It's the second win of the season. It's against one of the worst teams in all of football. So good for the Raiders. Really bad for the Titans, as Brian Callahan was fired after this game. They're 1-5 on the season. There was rumors about this. They took away play calling duties from him. I think it's kind of ironic that the team that his father coached, Bill Callahan, is the one that gets him axed. And Bill Callahan was the offensive line coach for the Titans, and decided I'm done here. I just took this job because my son was the head coach. So his record was 4-19 with a season, and was it 6 games. So I thought it was kind of quick. Like, this is the 4th time in the last 4 first overall picks that were quarterbacks. Those quarterbacks saw their head coaches fired in that same season. We're talking about Trevor Lawrence with Urban Meyer, which that was a shit show, and him kicking Josh Lambeau. There was Bryce Young getting fired, or Bryce Young playing with Frank Reich, and him getting fired during that season. Even though that was Frank Reich's first season as Panthers head coach, and David Tepper's like, I've seen enough. Even though Frank Reich, I think, wanted C.J. Stroud. We saw it last year with Caleb Williams and Matt Eberflus, and that was no surprise. Thought he was a dead man walking to begin with. And then this year, they pulled the plug on Brian Callahan after 6 games. So I think it's kind of unfair, but at the same time, like, seeing the clips you're showing, Steven, and their ineptitude with the offense, maybe it was the right call, but I never like firing a coach that quickly. I don't know. What is he supposed to do the rest of the season? Like, is like Mike McCoy, the old Chargers head coach, is the interim head coach the rest of the way? How can Cam Ward really grow? He's not going to grow until this offseason when they pair him up with another offensive play caller, probably. But yeah, I just think that it's equal parts too soon, but at the same time, when you're showing me the clips and the way that the offense has performed this season, maybe is the right call. I really don't know.
I think there was also a leadership quality that he didn't really have. There were just some pretty damning press conference clips that got posted as soon as they started losing in the beginning of the season. Not to mention Cam Ward just straight up saying the team was ass.
Yeah.
But with all the, and speaking of, it's clear he's got the ability. Just with all the coaching turnover, the general manager turnover, they're on their 3rd guy since 2022 because they fired Rand Carthon last year, and this is a new guy. I just hope they don't screw up a number 1 overall pick like Ward, because like we played in that last episode with Liam Cohen, where he said with rookies, it's about system and circumstance and talent too. But, this is the type of thing that could delay what could be a promising career for a number 1 overall pick. And that sucks. That really sucks. I mean, the Titans are just not a well-run organization right now.
No, they're not. I thought that they pulled the plug on Mike Vrabel prematurely. Like as Otis Bird is saying in the chat here, teams aren't messing around. The Titans should have kept Mike Vrabel around. Yeah, I'm with you on that. I think that was just a pride thing where the owner was pissed that he was at a ring of ring of fame, or whatever it is, the ceremony they were having for Mike Vrabel. What the hell am I thinking of? It's just a Ring of Honor, that's it, where you were honoring Mike Vrabel, and they were upset because he was chummy with Robert Kraft. So, they were mad about that. They moved on from him. And I get it with Brian Callahan and the GM. That's not a guy like he chose. Like, he was paired up with Rand Carthon.
Yeah.
And then they bring in somebody new, Mike Bergazzi, who came from the Chiefs. And, that's a weird arranged marriage thing. Like, I'd wonder that sometimes with Pete Carroll and John Spytek. But, yeah, I guess it makes sense. You don't want to screw this up with the first overall pick. So you want to get it right with the coaching staff, and you're seeing right away that it's not turning in a good direction. But then again, I don't know how it's going to go the rest of the season when you have an interim play caller with him. So I don't know. I think it's equal parts bad for Cam Ward, but then again, they're trying to nip it in the bud real quick.
Just a lost season, man.
Yeah.
That sucks for him.
No, that's what it feels like. All right, let's go around week 6 in the NFL.
Oh.
And I got to be honest. You know me. You know I love me some football, but these games.
I was going to say this. I was going to say, is it fair to admit that this week of games was kind of trash?
I would agree. Yes,
Not
wasn't the most. It wasn't the most spectacular football by any means, but it's football, and I enjoyed it. Watched some games with my man John Curley.
Oh boy!
At the new final that's been remodeled in San Francisco before we went to the Canadian Fleet Week in the marina. But yeah, I mean these games. You know, there were some some games on paper. There was the Seahawks and Jags game. You know, two teams that are above 500, and I came away really impressed with the Seahawks here. The passing game with Sam Darnold throwing to Jackson Smith-Njigba, who looks like the best wide receiver in football right now. 8 catches for 162 yards. Evenly matched. Seattle was just making bigger plays. And we both call this game right. Like, we thought there would be kind of a letdown after a huge win against Kansas City. So, and the Seahawks are really good on the road. I think they won their last 10 games on the road when they're, you know, in their history. It's always been how good they are at home with the 12. So, yeah, I think that right now the Seahawks look really, really impressive. The Rams, I would say, are second in that division with, you know, how they play defense. And I thought they would have like more of a offensive explosion against the Ravens with how much defense they've, you know, or how much points they've allowed. But yeah, the Seahawks are definitely the most impressive team to me in the NFC West.
Yeah, on to add to the whole Liam Cohen thing, like, was he mentioning Trevor Lawrence in that situation? Because Trevor Lawrence, he was just holding on to the ball for way too long in this game. That's why he was sacked 7 times. The other thing that caught my eye is you said it at the top with Smith-Njigba, who's leading the NFL in receiving right now. But that dime,
yeah, it was beautiful.
61-yard pass, like that was just gorgeous. So that's all I really got from this one.
Yeah, Cooper Kupp finally getting his first touchdown with the Seahawks. So, man, the way they play defense and the way their passing game is right now, and the two-headed backfield with Zach Charbonnet and Kenneth Walker, yeah, I think that they right now look like the best team in the NFC West to me. As far as the Rams and Ravens, like the Ravens played pretty good defense in the first half, and then the Rams just pulled away. Great catch on the sideline from Kyron Williams on a 4th down play. Mm-hmm. But Matthew Stafford was struggling a little bit. He had a fumble. Puka Nacua got hurt in this game with an ankle injury, and now he's week to week. Devontae Adams, he's not the same player. He doesn't get separation like he did in the past, and he's dropping a lot of balls, and him and Matthew Stafford don't have a good connection right now. So just for that reason alone, I put them second. I think they have the most talent of any team in the division. But, with the 49ers injuries, yes, I stand by that statement. But, yeah, Rams get away with a win, 17-3, and it's probably because the Ravens are just so bad right now.
The Ravens are terrible. It was their quarterback play. Like, I had to turn the game off. It was gone off multi-view. After I believe they kicked a field goal to go up, or no, it was after they scored the touchdown because of the fumble, and they went up 17-3. I'm like, all right, I'm turning this game off. There's no point. And the Devontae Adams thing, he still gets separation. He's just dropping everything. Like, God, there was one play in the end zone where he totally shakes the defender. He's wide open, kind of a poor throw on Stafford's part, but Adams just dropped it. And he's been dealing with these drops ever since his time with the Raiders, and his hands just haven't been the same. So I could agree with you there, but I still think he's an elite route runner, one of the best in the league. But his hands just aren't doing him any favors at all.
No, I would say that he still is great at running routes. It's just his speed and ability to get away from defensive backs. Like Quinyon Mitchell was sticking to him after that touchdown he had against the Eagles. After that, he shut him down. And I think that Matthew Stafford just knows how to throw to Puka Nacua. He does not know how to throw to Devontae Adams yet, which is kind of weird. By the way, I was watching that game in the 4th quarter, and I'm like, who's number 5 for the Ravens? Who's running around? I was like, oh, is that Snoop Huntley? Is that Tyler Huntley? And then I'm thinking to myself, okay, I know that he was with the Browns at training camp, and he was part of the Ravens practice squad. But with Lamar Jackson injured, why would you change your entire offense up with Cooper Rush when you had success years ago with Tyler Huntley filling in? wouldn't you want to keep that same offensive system? Like, why would you change it to a traditional drop back quarterback? I know that may throw some teams off, but clearly it didn't work out.
And that's why I told you, I think John Harbaugh's job, it might be, I don't know if that seat's hot just yet, but it's starting to get hot. Bill Barnwell even mentioned it in his article.
If it is hot, I think this is the first year where we start to have this conversation. But I don't think he's fired by the end of the year, by all means.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
We got to see how it plays out. Their schedule is actually pretty easy after this bye week. But then again, I just said you can't play the schedule game with the 49ers, so why would I do that with the Ravens? They need their defensive player makers back, and they need Lamar Jackson back, obviously, to have any success. All right, let's talk about a good game. Chiefs and Lions, Sunday Night Football. Did you see the opening drive of this game, Steven, with the play the Lions ran on the goal line that was called back?
I didn't.
God, it was great. So Jared Goff was lined up at the shotgun, then motioned out to the left, had David Montgomery take the direct snap, and then he threw to Jared Goff. Now, it was called back because it was illegal motion, or I guess Jared Goff was not able to, whatever he did, lined up in the shotgun, then went out left. I guess you can't do that for whatever reason. I thought it was a really cool play, and the reason that it was successful was because Jared Goff used the body of the Chiefs defensive back to catch it like into his arms. So, yeah, that was a fun play that was taken away. But, yeah, man, the Chiefs, the most impressive thing about this game was they did not record a single takeaway. They just stuck to their receivers like glue, and they shut down Amon-Ra St. Brown. They shut down Jamison Williams. They ran the ball effectively, but the Chiefs were doing, their thing on offense. And Patrick Mahomes threw 3 touchdown passes, rushed for 1. And the Lions just couldn't keep up offensively. They went for it on 4th down, didn't convert. So I still think the Lions are the best team in the NFC. They faced a really good team in the Chiefs, and I think the Chiefs are turning it around now, where just because they lost last week to the Jaguars, I think that they will probably be in the playoff picture once again. Like, I think we write teams off way too soon. Not to say that anybody was thinking like they want to make the playoffs by any means, but I still think with the Chargers injuries, and we'll talk about their game against the Dolphins, but with the Chargers injuries, I think the Chiefs now are smelling blood in the water, and they get Rashee Rice back this week.
Just situational touchdowns, man. Like, if that makes sense. I don't know if that's even a phrase, but situational touchdowns where you're scoring knowing that the Lions are probably going to have one more drive left going into halftime, but you get a touchdown anyway in timely fashion. Then you get a touchdown right out of the half. And then after the Lions score a touchdown to cut it to 3 points, the Chiefs go ahead and score a touchdown himself. So it's just timely touchdowns. Patrick Mahomes, man, like when he has those just types of plays where it's kind of going back to high school, where especially in the red zone, like there's no one as creative as Andy Reid in the red zone. And he had a couple of them. He had a couple of bangers in this game, actually. But one of them where Patrick Mahomes fakes it to the running back, and it's just a total option play. Keeps it himself.
Yep.
Sends the arm to the end zone. Touchdown. Like, the dude is just, I don't know. They're still a real nasty team. I thought for a second maybe their offense was getting a little stagnant, but now it's starting to pick up. And I don't know, maybe we got to start putting the Chiefs back in that better team conversation now.
No, I think so. I think that now this is where you'll see it kind of turn, where the offense was at a groove the first 2 weeks of the season, especially against the Eagles, and now it's like, okay, they're back to where they were before.
Yeah.
The real highlights of this game were after the whistle blew to end the game, when Brian Branch wasn't going to give Patrick Mahomes some love with a high five, and kind of like pushed him away. And Juju Smith-Schuster was not happy about that, and Brian Branch just knocked him in the face, and now he's been suspended 1 game because of his antics after the game, because he was upset with a blindside block on him from Juju. Or maybe it was Isaiah Pacheco. Yeah, I actually think it was Pacheco. Brian Branch, really good player, kind of a punk. He kind of does this stuff like C.J. Gardner-Johnson, where he talks shit and thinks that he could just push guys and gets penalized all the time. I like his game, but I think he's also kind of a dirty player in some aspects. So, yeah, I mean, I'm not going to defend him. The suspension is totally warranted.
Yeah, sure. But he's crazy. Like, that's what Brian Branch is. He's a crazy defensive back. And I'm not going to condone anything that he does, but I'm not going to be mad at him for getting in a fight with the Chiefs. It's the Chiefs.
Yeah.
I'd love if that was on the Raiders.
And I thought that Mahomes handled it well in the post game. He was like, "We handle everything." I'm not gonna do it with the voice. We handle everything like in between the lines of scrimmage. They can handle all the stuff off the field. But yeah, exactly. So yeah, I still think the Chiefs are gonna be. I still think they might win the AFC West, even though the Broncos are 4-2 and the Chargers are 4-2. They're right behind them at 3-3. And the Lions, they lose to a good team. So their two losses are to the Packers on the road and the Chiefs on the road. Not bad. As far as the Chargers, can we play the clip of Jim Harbaugh real quick?
Yeah, hang on.
I mean, this game was fun. Like, you and I both picked the Dolphins. It looked like they were going to win this game with a Darren Waller touchdown in the closing seconds. But Justin Herbert gets out of, a sack and maneuvers his way to the right and throws a pass to Ladd McConkey that sets up the game-winning field goal. And Jim Harbaugh was so moved by the movie he saw on the plane that he had to make a comparison of his quarterback.
The Mission Impossible movie, the final Reckoning, I think it's called. I was watching that caught a little bit of that on the plane on the way back from Miami. And that's what I was like, man, like Ethan Hunt, Justin Herbert. I mean, they're people don't realize all the things that they do. Mission Impossible kind of says it all. Then he's like Ethan Hunt. Pretty cool.
Dude, I feel like I've heard that press conference so many times where he'll compare like, oh, Justin Herbert, man, he's like Spider-Man. You guys seen that? Or Superman? You see Superman? He saves the day, man. Yeah, it's a great movie.
Ethan Hunt, pretty cool.
He's no Ethan Hunt. He's no Ethan Hunt. All right.
No.
Good luck, Jim.
Yeah, no. Justin Herbert's not rock climbing without a safety net or any of the other crazy shit that Ethan Hunt does.
Climbing the super tall tower in Dubai, which is the biggest one in the world, with the little suction cup things. He's not sprinting across London in 6 minutes on rooftops, breaking his ankle in the process. Sorry, Jim. He's no Ethan Hunt. By the way, in the final reckoning, Ethan Hunt is like 80 years old. All right? Don't compare Justin Herbert to Ethan Hunt.
Yeah, and he's scuba diving without like any air.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, like I understand like, Harbaugh's gonna talk glowingly about his quarterback, but I love like every movie he watches, he compares it to Justin Herbert now. And like, what was he thinking too? He's like, yeah, I watched that Final Reckoning, and man, Justin Herbert's he's like Ethan Hunt, and I'm like Luther. Yeah. But I don't want to die. No spoiler alert or anything.
I mean, is that the most damning clip to come out of this game?
No, it's not. So I thought the Dolphins were going to win this game, but Justin Herbert makes a Ethan Hunt-like play to get the game-winning field goal from Cameron Dicker. Big game, by the way, from Kamani Vidal for 124 yards. I made the wrong move by picking up Hassan Haskins at running back. So they got some running game there. Yeah, good win by the Chargers to go into Miami, a place where they, haven't won in a while, and usually Tua gets the best of Justin Herbert. But Tua in this game threw 3 interceptions and then felt the need to tell the media why this team lacks leadership and they don't have good practice habits. So here's Tua being asked about the leadership skills of the Miami Dolphins at the moment.
Well, I think it starts with the leadership in helping articulate that for the guys, and then what we're expecting out of the guys, right? We're expecting this. Are we getting that? Are we not getting that? We have guys showing up to player-only meetings late, guys not showing up to player-only meetings. Like, there's a lot that goes into that. Do we have to make this mandatory? Do we not have to make this mandatory? So it's a lot of a lot of things of that nature that we got to get cleaned up, and it starts with the little things like that.
To be clear, you're saying some players were late or missed?
Late, yeah.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. So when I first saw this, I was like, man, is he calling out Mike McDaniel here for the lack of leadership skills? And when I got the news of Brian Callahan's firing, I was like, okay, I was kind of expecting Mike McDaniel to be fired today.
Yeah.
But then Mike McDaniel was asked about it at his press conference. And he was like, he should have probably kept that in-house. And I think that was the response of many former players on Twitter being like, Tua's not in a position to be doing this. Like, any quarterback should not be saying this, let alone a guy that throws 3 interceptions in a game.
Yeah.
So, yeah, this is – I understand he's calling out other teammates for their lack of leadership skills, and that's been heavily reported with what's going on, in the past with Jalen Ramsey and why they, ultimately decided to move on from him. But this is bad leadership skills from Tua in the first place.
Yeah, from sports podcast host guy who – has opinions on things. Yeah, sure. This is detrimental to the team. You shouldn't be saying those things as a quarterback, but that would be hypocritical of me personally, who loves the chaos and hates when things are held back in the media. And so from that standpoint, I love what Tua said. I love it.
Because you want the drama.
I want the drama, the chaos. Call out your teammates. What happens with the offensive line? Were any of the offensive linemen late? Are they going to pull a longest yard where they think that Paul Crewe is throwing the game so they just don't block any of the defensive linemen from Allentown Prison? What's going to happen here? I think this makes the Dolphins vastly more interesting than they were before. At first, they were just a losing team whose head coach is going to lose his job. Yeah, whatever. But now this time, we got some inner turmoil. And maybe that should have been kept in-house. Maybe Tua is... Maybe that's an indictment on him. Just the fact that no one's showing up to meetings. Like, you're the quarterback, dude. You should be the one who is leading the charge in that regard.
Yeah.
But just from a pure dramatic, hey, this is what I'd like to see from my quarterbacks. Yeah, I'm all in.
Okay.
More of that.
No,
Can you imagine that if we were all just honest, like in Liar Liar?
I've had better.
Yeah.
I've had better.
That's because you got really big jugs. Like,
I mean, your boobs are huge. I mean, I want to squeeze them. I mean, mama.
Yeah. Can you imagine, like, if Kyle Shanahan was able to express his true thoughts with Fred Warner? Like, oh, yeah, it's just next man up. We just have to find the next guy. And that's why they prepare so hard for moments like this, where we're back to the truth machine. This is the truth machine, not what I'm doing. But it's just, yeah, we're screwed without Fred.
It's kind of a boring, unfunny truth machine. But yeah, I hear you.
Yeah.
Okay, but what was the message of that movie, Stephen and Liar Liar? It's really, you shouldn't tell the truth sometimes.
Yeah, I guess so. But again, like, I'd just go against everything that I've said before in this podcast. If I said, yeah, this is wrong of Tua, why did he do that, and chastised him?
No, I get it. You want a good soundbite out of guys. I totally understand that.
Yeah,
but
just honesty.
It is an indictment on Tua where I'm sure, like, this also kind of is like tattletaling, where he's like, I called the players only meeting, and these guys are showing up late, so no one respects me. When?
Tattletale Tua.
It kind of goes back to, remember that interview he did? What was it, Dan Le Batard show? Tua did? Was it on the Dan Le Batard show, or was it another podcast where he was like, the difference between Brian Flores and Mike McDaniel is that Brian Flores hated me every single day. Yeah. And then Mike McDaniel's so different. And we were like, you're coming across a little whiny, dude. Just let it go. You already got your head coach. You're good. Tua, a lot of his sound bites this year have been bad for different reasons. The Cam Newton thing, and, I want to thank God for keeping us all safe for the most part after Tyreek Hill hurt his leg. This one was like, I don't know if you're a good leader as far as a quarterback, and every quarterback needs leadership qualities, and I don't know if Tua has those.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like his time is going to last much longer with that team, does it?
Well, they sent him the contract, so I don't know. I feel like Mike McDaniel is going to be the guy that takes the fall here, unfortunately. Just to bounce around real quick, because these games weren't spectacular. Packers beat the Bengals 27-18. My guy Matthew Golden, you were texting me about him. He looks really good as their deep threat right now. 3 catches for 86 yards. Josh Jacobs looked like the Josh Jacobs with the Raiders.
Yeah.
93 yards, 2 touchdowns, a little more of a burst from that offensive line. I still don't know about the Packers. Not like I'm going to go full guru here and be like, Micah Parsons doesn't do a lot, but for what they're paying him, I kind of want to have him, make more of an impact on the game. But I get it. Like, he's getting held out there, double teams and whatnot. But I was impressed with Joe Flacco. Joe Flacco kept things interesting for the Bengals. But I don't really know if the Packers, I have to see how they look against like better teams when they face the other NFC North teams or whoever they got upcoming in the next couple of weeks here, the Eagles or the Steelers. But yeah, I think the shine's kind of wearing off a little bit from the Packers hype with the Micah Parsons trade, where let's just see, like, they're a good team, but are they really great? Are they going to compete for the division with the Lions? I don't know.
I'm not sure about that either, but what I do know is with that Matthew Golden and me sending you that text, like, I think they have a guy who can be a go-to receiver. Like, the problem with the Packers, if it was a close game in the playoffs, it's like, well, who are they going to go to here? You got to rely on Jordan Love, but you don't have the go-to player. Like with the 49ers, for example, you usually knew that you can probably rely on Ayuk or Debo. But with the Packers, it's kind of just mix and match, and let's just hope that this guy's open.
Yeah.
But with Golden, God, he's got some great hands, like really solid, as you know, from Texas. And I think he's the most sure-handed receiver that they have. So I think the difference is, I think it's going to be up and down. I agree with you that they need to show more. It feels like it's always that way with the Packers. But by the end of the year, if they're in these close games, I think Matthew Golden's going to be the go-to guy. So I think at the very least that we have that to answer for. But compared to what's changed from, say, last year to this year, still a little bit more injuries, sure.
Yeah.
And you did add Michael Parsons, and you want to see a little more from him. But I do think they have more of an answer at wide receiver down the stretch than which something they didn't have before. So I think that's a little positive takeaway you can get with that team.
I would agree, and I think that we'll see Christian Watson come back because he's been practicing. The window for his return from PUP has been open, so we may see him come back here, and it's another deep threat that they could have to add to their offensive arsenal. Did I send you the Jamar Chase audio by chance?
Raw dog?
Yeah, the raw dog. This was weird.
I did.
Interesting terminology from Jamar Chase here.
You didn't send it to me.
Okay, but yeah, like this is right after the game, and they're playing Thursday night against the Steelers. They ask him like, how do you see things on a short week with the Pittsburgh Steelers? And Jamar Chase uses an interesting phrase when it comes to facing against their division rival.
Steelers gonna try to come in and raw dog us and kill us, but we're gonna be ready for that challenge, and we're gonna be waiting for it.
Oof.
Raw dog and kill us. I know the kids these days are using raw dog when it comes to going on a plane and not like having any reading material or devices, but raw dog. Okay.
Yeah.
I wouldn't use that term when playing in an NFL game, but
I know we make too many movie references on this podcast and too many movie quotes pop into my head, but every time I hear that term, I always think of the movie She's Out of My League with Jay Baruchel. And
you know what?
You've never seen it?
That's one I've missed.
Yeah. Well, there's a thing where, he doesn't have a girlfriend and he has an ex, and his ex-girlfriend still hangs out with his family. Then he goes to see his family for lunch, and he's trying to show off in front of his ex. And he's just like, yeah, I've been okay. Just raw dogging some randoms.
Okay, I probably would love this movie.
Yeah.
I'm surprised I've never seen it. I like Jay Baruchel. I've seen a lot of things he's been in, but I'm surprised I've missed that movie.
Yeah. And like the boyfriend, the ex who she's with, like a family member or something like, I don't know why I can't remember why the ex hangs out with his family still.
Right.
But one of them pops in after he gets back from work, and he overheard the conversation, and he goes, raw dogging some randoms. Sounds like you got a good thing going there, pirate. Why do you call me pirate? It doesn't make any. Why? I've never been a pirate. I never wanted to be a pirate. Raw dogging some randoms. I'm a pirate.
That's a pretty good line. All right. And then there's another. I think I sent you this one. Mike Tomlin talking about Joe Flacco.
You didn't.
This
send
was kind of
to me,
weird.
Was it?
Okay. I thought so. And this is kind of him kind of showing his bitterness, I would say. So Joe Flacco traded within a division from the Browns to the Bengals, and the Steelers are facing the Bengals in a short week, and they asked Mike Tomlin about it.
To be honest, it was shocking to me. Andrew Berry must be a lot smarter than me or us, because it doesn't make sense to me to trade a quarterback that you think enough of to make your opening day starter to a division opponent that's hurting in that area. But that's just my personal feelings.
Yeah.
I mean, that's fair. That's honesty. I think Mike Tomlin's also a little miffed where he's like, why would you do this? Now, I know Joe Flacco from many years with the Baltimore Ravens. I was planning on Jake Browning being the quarterback for this team. You're going to help out a division rival to screw up the rest of the division when you're out of it. And, Bruce Arians, who coached with Mike Tomlin at Pittsburgh, was on the Pat McAfee show today. He was like, this is bullshit. Why would the Browns do this? Why should the Browns care? Like, I think their mentality, like, just to focus on their game real quick with the Steelers and Browns, like, I was texting you, Aaron Rodgers, you said a couple weeks ago, like, it's not fun watching him. I agree. It's just a lot of quick passes. It's a lot of hospital balls, really. It's just him like, okay, boom, snap, let me throw to DK. Boom, snap, let me throw to Connor Hayward. It's, it's just not fluid, good offensive football. But they get the job done. They play defense. They run the ball. I don't know if I'm buying them at 4-1 in that AFC North. But then again, look at the rest of the division, so I don't really know. As far as the Browns, Dylan Gabriel, I really don't know what the point of that draft pick was. Like, it was just to draft a quarterback for the sake of drafting a quarterback. Same thing with Shedeur. Let's see what he is in probably the next few weeks. But that defense is really fucking good, and that offense is putrid. I keep thinking about Myles Garrett this offseason, just being like, I want to move on, and they gave him $40 million, so he shuts up now. But he even said after this game, it's the same thing every week where the defense is playing great and the offense can't do anything. But for the Browns, they're basically tanking. They're not going to say it, but they have 2 first-round picks next year, and they're probably going to sell a lot off at the deadline. So why do they care if they have Joe Flacco? Just move him to the Bengals and they get a 5th-round pick out of it.
Yeah. And from Tomlin's standpoint, though, I understand where he's coming from, because it's also, you're playing with these quarterbacks' careers. Like, what are you doing with Shedeur? What are you doing with Dylan Gabriel?
Yeah.
What are you doing with Joe Flacco? You're just trading him to a team that's eventually going to get their quarterback back, especially for a guy who Tomlin knows. Guarantee him and Flacco are not friends, but they're definitely cordial with each other because they've known each other for so long. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
This isn't fantasy. I'm just dealing these guys as if the waiver wire opens up on a Wednesday.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about how rare it is to have in-division trades when it comes to quarterbacks. It was Drew Bledsoe and Donovan McNabb prior to this move. You never see it in division during the season like that. I'm sure that's what pisses off Mike Tomlin a little bit.
Yeah.
He even said, like, when the press conference ends, he's like, is that it, guys? All right, good. You guys were annoying me this week. It's like he's just, like, in general, just pissed off in a short week and prepared for the Bengals.
That's so funny.
As far as these other games, stop me if anything, interests you, Steven. We talked about Rico Dowdle. The Cowboys are playing really well offensively without CeeDee Lamb, and Dak Prescott's off to a really hot start, but defensively they're just dreadful. And kudos to Rico Dowdle, 239 yards from scrimmage, when last week he had 234. So this guy's been a game changer as far as a running back. Anything on this game, Steven, or yeah?
I mean, it's George Pickens. George Pickens just feeding in seamlessly for CeeDee Lamb and looking like a number 1 receiver. He turns into, at times, the most entertaining player in the league, but also at times the most frustrating player in the league. And right now you're getting on the entertainment side of it, which is, I think, good for everyone involved. So yeah. I guess that's something that stood out. But other than that, I mean, I just can't believe the Panthers actually won again.
I know. Yep. The Colts sneak out a victory against the Cardinals, 31-27. This is a game they should have won. And go down Jacoby Brissett in the Cardinals offense to keep pace in this game. Questionable call at the end where Trey McBride was definitely PI'd in the end zone, but they didn't call it. So Colts win. They're the better team. That's all I have to say about this game, really.
Yeah, I didn't really have this on. I turned this off because I just figured, okay, Jacoby Brissett's in. What's the damn point? But then you go back and it's like, what the hell? They actually have a chance here. And it was a defensive pass interference on Trey McBride.
Yeah,
definitely was. He had every right to go to the ref to his face with both his hands up. Like, what the hell, man? What are you seeing? You're right there.
Yeah.
So yeah, shame.
Yeah. And weird before the game where, I forget which player it was. I'm blanking on it, but he suffered I think it was a Colts defensive back where he was running drills before the game started and ran into another player and was
Charvarius Ward.
Oh yeah, sorry, it was Mooney Ward, and yeah, that's unfortunate. Where just a pregame warmups, he knocks into another player and is out for the game. That sucks.
Yeah.
Never heard of that before in the NFL either. Gotta watch where you're going. The London game, let me ask you this. Like, we don't have to go through every game, but like, do you like the Monday night doubleheaders?
Monday night doubleheader. I thought we were going to London.
I know. I'll bring that up in a second. But do you like the Monday night doubleheaders?
I can deal with it. I mean, I'd rather have it be a standalone football game, but now that we got the multi-view, I could deal with it. I'd rather have just one. I'd rather not have the doubleheader and keep it with just Joe Buck, Troy Aikman. I love how Aikman is just treating Caleb Williams like he did Jimmy Garoppolo and just crapping on every single thing that Williams does in the game. But I would rather have just a standalone Monday night primetime event. It makes it a little easier with the multi-view now, but
yeah, it is easier to watch as a YouTube TV viewer, but I'll be selfish. Like, being on the air while both these games are going on simultaneously, I'm like, God, I'm missing out on all the action. And then I come home and the first game's basically over, and then the other game's like in the fourth quarter. And I get it's fun if you're at home and watch these games. If you have two TVs, cool. That's usually what I have. But I think that the NFL was reacting to this off of the COVID season where we moved so many games to Monday or Tuesday, and you have these staggered start times where I'm like, I'd rather just watch one game. And I feel like with the London game and the Monday night doubleheaders, like, we're missing a lot of Sunday slate. So I don't know. I would rather have more games on Sunday than these 6:30 games or a doubleheader on Monday night.
Yeah, I agree.
So as far as the London game, this was horrible football. The Broncos win 13-11, but the way the Jets handled that drive right before halftime, and you could tell Rich Eisen's a Jets fan by the way he reacted, was just like, the crowd in London's befuddled, and so was the announcer. The Jets ran a fake punt on fourth down with a direct snap, and then they, they can't move the ball at all at midfield, and so they're at their own 48-yard line with like 11 seconds left. They have one timeout. They didn't do anything. They just let the clock expire. Aaron Glenn's like, well, if we don't pick up the first down, I didn't know if it was a first down or fourth down, and if we don't pick it up, then the Broncos have it at midfield. They can kick a field goal. I don't want to take that chance. You have a fucking timeout and get clarification from the referee if it's a first down or fourth down, you fool. Good Lord.
Yeah. Aaron Glenn, I only caught the end of this game because I didn't really wake up till later. I only caught the end of this one, but Aaron Glenn is not off to a promising start as a head coach at this time.
But today, Coach was telling me, like, you think he gets fired at the end of the year? I'm like, I don't know about that.
Yeah.
And I think the Jets may win against the Panthers, but they're not going 0-17. But yeah, it's pretty bad right now.
You never know.
I have to believe they win a game.
Yeah.
But it's clear Justin Fields, they get negative passing yards. Like, we going back to 2006 with the Raiders and Texans finishing a game with negative passing yards. Good Lord.
Negative 10 passing yards, dude. So
Jesus
bad.
Christ. Pats beat the Saints. I had this game on in the background. Didn't watch a lot, but Drake May throws 3 touchdown passes. He looks good. I guess the biggest takeaway from this game was the referees were horrible, from what Mike Vrabel said.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't even watch a single minute of it.
Yeah, I'll go back and look. This wasn't a game of my interest. It was just Patriots are the better team, and they should have won this game. And we touched briefly on the Falcons and Bills. I'm just surprised that the Bills laid an egg once again, coming off that loss to the Patriots. But like I said, if you stifle the running game and you cover, like the Falcons have pretty good members of the secondary to cover up Keon Coleman and these other receivers for the Bills. So the pass rushers get into Josh Allen. I don't think it's a terrible loss, but it shows the Falcons are actually, I thought that maybe they're a team that you see them on your schedule and you could beat them like the 49ers this upcoming week on Sunday Night Football. But yeah, the Falcons are definitely a team you can't sleep on. And Bijan Robinson with that 81-yard touchdown. Drake London.
Yeah.
Almost scoring before halftime. Michael Penix, having a lot of weapons around him. They're actually better than I thought, the Falcons.
Yeah, well, they finally have established what they feel is their identity, which is running the football. Like they started it last week against the Commanders, where it's just don't overthink it. Just put the ball in number 7's hands, let him work. Michael Penix, just try not to throw any interceptions. Some guys will be open. We got talented players on this team, and finally they're starting to flourish. I mean, there's plenty of reasons. I didn't go back and watch any of the film or any of the condensed version of this game, but I think the Falcons are going to be a lot better than people will realize if that run game keeps going.
No, I would agree. All right, before we get out of here, let's pick the Thursday night game. It's the Raw Dog Bowl. It's the Pittsburgh Steelers against the Cincinnati Bengals. The Steelers are 5.5-point favorites, and the over/under is 43.5.
I'll lay the points with the Steelers, and I'll take the under, the Raw Dog Bowl.
You go with the under. I'll say Pittsburgh wins since he covers. Give me the under on the 43.5. Alrighty. And that's going to be it for tonight, guys. We'll be back on Saturday.
Damn Dodgers.
Dodgers are up 2-0 on the NLCS, and
I'm tired of this, dude. This is turning into a thing. It's the same frustration I feel when Peter Schrager's trying to tell me that I have to appreciate the Chiefs no matter how much winning they've done in the past. Right now, it's that same theme with the Dodgers where all the baseball analysts are going to go out there and tell you, you could use the money thing as some sort of an excuse, but this Dodgers team plays real good baseball. No, they spent a lot of money, more than any team in history. And Yoshinobu Yamamoto, it's like a cheat code. He's their second pitcher, and he shuts them all down in 9 innings. Didn't shut them down. He gave up a run, but still, it's just this team, man. They're unstoppable. And I'm being told that I have to appreciate what I'm watching because they're just such a well-rounded team. This money was well spent. No, I don't. I don't have to enjoy this. I don't have to appreciate it. I don't have to acknowledge it. No, I'll still watch and hate watch while I'm doing it.
Was Joe Davis on the call tonight, or was it was TBS, right? Yeah, it was TBS, so he wasn't on it. Yeah, I mean, I get it. It's as the kids say, the national media just glazing the Dodgers because they get high ratings and they're a big attraction in baseball. So I get why they do it. I understand why Giants fans and most baseball fans would be annoyed by this, but
they're so good.
Yeah, I know. It's probably it's trending the direction they're going to win back-to-back World Series, and I understand Giants fans hating it, but what can you do? In Buster Posey just needs to find a manager and try to stop it. It's the bottom line.
The only thing standing in their way, the Seattle Mariners are the big dumper. It's
a good story, and I grew up with the Mariners in the A's division, and never rooted for them. But what do I care at this moment? If they go on to the World Series and they end up winning it, awesome. Never done in their franchise's history, and haven't been to the ALCS since 2001. Be pretty awesome.
Yeah.
That's all I got for tonight, Steven. Anything else?
Also, I mean, before they get knocked out, I think they could. So because they have the day out tomorrow, then they got Thursday and Friday. So who knows if the Dodgers complete the sweep? I might not get a chance to even really talk about this. But Pat Murphy, do you see what this Brewers manager does before every series?
No.
Because the opposing team's press is going to be at their series, he makes everyone who's new stand up and introduce themselves because he wants to say hello to these people. And with the Dodgers comes a lot of Japanese media. So he had all the Japanese media stand up and he's getting to know them by face, by name. It's like a teacher at the beginning of school, like just learning everyone's names and being welcoming.
Introduce yourself.
It's very refreshing to see someone who actually seems like he respects the reporters and what they do. And maybe that's just me in the media and I'm kind of biased towards that. But good God, man, just a little bit of kindness, a little generosity. And by the way, it wasn't just like, hey, stand up and just like nod his head. He's repeating their names, making sure he's pronouncing it correctly.
Right.
And then just saying, hi, welcome, good to meet you. Like it was a 3-minute video. And I watched the whole thing. I almost teared up, man. It's just such a nice gesture from him. I don't know what it is.
Well, there you go. Pat Murphy wins Steven Nice Guy of the Week award.
Yeah, the nice guy of the week. Shit.
We definitely need to do that more because we focus on Jackass of the Week and it's a fun segment, but Nice Guy of the Week is also, I mean, it's right up your alley. It's your name.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, but we also we'll make it gender neutral, just nice person of the week or something, because it could be a nice female.
When they win, you could change it, but your name's Nice Guy. It makes sense, Steven. Come on.
Derek, that name's dead.
You're not Nice Guy Steven anymore? More dickbag Steven?
Nice guy Steven hasn't been around in a while. Well, I think I'm an okay person, but the name's just, it's dead, dude. It's gone. It ceases to exist. No one knows who Nice Guy Steven is anymore.
I know. You're not as nice as you were 10 years ago when you were taking shifts for Elena and Jacob.
Yeah. Yeah. When you guys were just taking advantage of the poor soul just trying to make a name for himself. What?
I didn't do anything. I just forced you to board out Raider games for me.
Hey, Steve, we got this great opportunity for you. You want to take up your Sunday and run board for the Raiders?
Yeah, sure. By the way, you have a great idea for a Creed, parody song. I'm going to steal that from you as well.
Stupid.
All right, everybody, we'll be back on Saturday to get you ready for Week 7 in the NFL. Maybe do a little earlier, Steven, because I'm going to Walter's baby shower.
Oh, no.
I know, and I didn't know that it's a whole thing where you have to dress up and get a gift. So got some planning to do.
You haven't got a gift yet?
No. I have to do get it to the registry, or maybe I'll just show up with a bunch of diapers.
I mean, the diapers are always a good fallback option, but the registry can tell you from someone who is getting a baby shower going. And the reason I said, oh no, is not because of Walter's baby shower, by the way. Happy for Walter in that regard, but the fact that he has to have you there. Oof.
What am I going to do that's going to ruin the event?
I don't know, but you'll find a way.
I just didn't know what was going on. Like, they're telling me there's sack races and baby changing contests. I'm like, what is this?
Oh yeah, it's going to be one of those ones, huh? Very active.
Yeah. I don't know about this anymore.
It's fun, dude. You have a few drinks, get some food in you. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just drinks and food. It's a party. It's a good time.
No, I have a good time.
Just with a few games involved. Like there was the last one we went to. We had to do we had a beer chugging contest out of a baby bottle.
Oh,
yeah. I had the what do you call it?
The nipple.
Yeah, but there's like a specific version that they have. It's like the small flow, the slow flow, or something.
Well, we all need a healthy flow in life.
Well, the babies do, right? They can chug milk. You don't want them to chug the milk. You want them to take it at an appropriate rate. Well, I had the bad nipple. There was one who had the big one.
The thing's definitely not called the nipple. We got to come up with the right term for that.
Whatever. I had the one that wasn't free flowing. The one that was really hard. I was sucking on that thing like it was no tomorrow, man.
There you go, man. There you go. I just look forward to you, like you're talking about, taking care of your baby, and you're like, yeah, I feed the baby. It usually sucks from my nipple. Excuse me?
You milk my nipples, Greg?
Yeah, exactly. All right, everybody. We will see you on Saturday, maybe a little earlier. Thanks to Rockin' New Era. Thanks to Otis Bird. Thanks to
Skills. Don't forget Skills.
Skills Report. Pat H. Don Peralta. AJ Cruz, and I believe that is it. Oh, and already won. We got already won. All right, everybody. We'll see you on Saturday. Steven, say what you always say.
This just in from Raiders Beat. JT the Brick says a few Raiders O linemen might not be good enough. What a take. That's just our opinion, man.